Lauris, what's up?
How are you?
Doing well,
Doing
man.
good?
Good to see you. Good to see you. How we doing?
Yeah, it's been a minute. Doing good. Just like working all the time. Obviously, it's kind of like conference season. Trying to avoid most for the most part, but trying to make sure that at least we have some boots on the ground and promotionals. So it's been busy.
Nice, good stuff. Yeah, excited to get the latest. So Lauris is the founder of Multiplier, which is a platform where you can play games to win tokens.
Yeah,
And then communities can also boost their favorite tokens to get them more attention. So I know there's
yeah.
a bunch more behind that, and I think your motivations around the product are actually pretty interesting and probably like really not obvious if you're just playing it or at first glance. So yeah, I wonder if you could just share a bit more about what Multiplier is and what that motivation behind it is.
Sure. So I'll just try to make it as left curve as possible. Really, what we're trying to build is a gamification layer for micro cap liquidity stacks. So what I mean by that is we kind of like design the system where people can play games, and if there's like either some kind of outcome in that game, our mechanism buys that token off the spot market and sends it to the user. So that has two downstream effects. You win tokens by playing games, but at the same time makes the price of the token go up. So we kind of like the marketing phrase or the positioning statement that we use is a people's market maker, because coin devs and coin communities can effectively use our platform to get their coin from 100K market cap to 20 million. We've actually done that several times over the past 5 months while we're still on an Ethereum L2. But at the same time, another way how to think about it is it's kind of like an affiliate platform for on-chain volume, right? You can use that mechanism to pump your token. At the same time, kind of like what we're doing now, and I think I told Josh this a few weeks ago, is third-party developers will be launching their games on our platform soon. So we're becoming more of like a publishing mechanism, a platform. We're not really game designers by heart. I think we're pretty good at it historically. We are cash flow positive. We are at 8 figures in revenue turnover over the past 15 months. So we actually make money unlike a lot of companies in crypto. Yeah, it's an exciting time. It's just I'm a bit busy in the trenches all the time. So I'm just trying to like focus as much as I can on this conversation. You can probably see like the dark circles under my eyes.
No, dude, you look so well put together for being in the
Thank you.
trenches. So
I am not.
Most of the trench people I know look a lot more beat up than you do. Okay, so I believe you guys originally launched on Blast and then have ultimately found a home on Abstract. This sort of topic of making a decision of where to go build, especially when these chains are very nascent. Many of them are even in testnet. We had the Monad folks on yesterday.
Love them, by the way.
Yeah, great people. I'm sure sort of about the benefits and challenges that you were experiencing as you decided to, or as you launched on these nascent chains, and then the change you made too.
So like for kind of like the history of Multiplier, what we're building is it literally comes down to like a few stages, right? We launched an MVP on Blast. It was very good. We didn't even have to raise an institutional seed round, so we kind of like took the capital that we made from that product and just reinvested everything into building what we have now. And then we kind of like designed a more sophisticated mechanism from the things that we learned on Blast, right? Because we literally built that entire system in 2 months. Now we have 6 months to actually build a proper system, and it's been working really well. And it's kind of counterintuitive. And I know a lot of people have, they have a different opinion on how to approach GTM, but I think, it's like playing poker, right? You have to play the cards that you have. And as a founder, I'd rather take calculated risks, sometimes in low stakes or mid stakes ecosystems, before I potentially go and hit the big leagues. Because if you launch something on Solana right now, or maybe even Hyper EVM at this point, you have to be absolutely sure that how consumer crypto is. It has to have, it has to make a blast, pun intended, in the first week. Otherwise, it's just going to fizzle out. Otherwise, the network effects aren't just going to, kick in. So, like these choices, they've been calculated bets. Hey, we can get users. We can also, actually make money as a business. But literally, it's like a sequence of validation stages until we're absolutely ready and we want to like swing for the big leagues.
It's like McDonald's in New Zealand. Just go launch that new weird fish burger in New Zealand, and we'll see if it's popular before the big leagues in America.
So really the calculus is like we can go be one of the killer apps on Abstract. Obviously, big community, launched with a bunch of attention, and then once we have kind of a core community user base as kind of part of this progressive go-to-market strategy, we can then go to kind of these more competitive chains and kind of bring this community and attention base we have with you.
Sort of. I think there's some nuance behind it. So we do have community members who have been with us for a really, really long time, and wherever we're going to go. They're going to come with us, at least like a couple of hundred people. And I talk to our users every single week. We're very obsessive about user research. It's not necessarily about, a quantitative thing when that kind of decision has to be made. It's more, we actually see strong indicators of PMF. Right now, we actually are seeing strong indicators of PMF. And the counter, like the other side of the coin there when it comes to launching on an L2, it is, the good side is you have a top of the funnel. The bad side is a chain is your top of the funnel. And that is a risk as well. So I think I'm just talking an abstraction here. No puns intended this time. I think founders really need to take very calculate, like you really need to understand what you're getting into. And funnel design is really important for distribution. And you just have to figure out whether that funnel works for you or not. And on a flip, another thing is what I've always seen as a critical point of failure is people just going to change chains to farm grants or something. I think that is abysmal behavior. I don't think any good team should reach out for a grant at all. I know a guy who got a grant from the Movement Labs team about a month before like the entire kerfuffle happened. He's obviously not in a good position, and I highly doubt that he's going to launch that product in the first place. It's really just figuring out, how your funnel works, what your user persona is, like really diving as deeply as you can in terms of understanding the user and the different stakeholders and making an assessment. Okay, this chain, this ecosystem is the right fit for us. But let's make sure that, we execute fast and we're good builders so we can, potentially figure out different paths to scale later down the line, if that makes sense.
I feel like we're in this era right now where crypto's growing up, and I think you're taking a very business building approach here and building a crypto. And my sense is that you're building towards a world where maybe Fortune 500 companies, or at least their marketing departments, are playing around with tokens. I mean, is that the vision you see? And then I'm very curious how you see going from a niche crypto to taking over the C-suite of Fortune 500s.
I think that's a fascinating question. I actually thought about. I was on a call like an hour ago thinking about it with a friend. I think there is, in some sense, kind of like a bifurcation in terms of what crypto really is. And I think, especially a lot of the things that have happened over the past 4 months, like, a lot of things changed after the Privy acquisition, some acquisitions after that, M&As heating up significantly. But it's still like a bifurcation where, like these legacy players from TradFi, or like fintech, not TradFi. I don't want to use it for TradFi. Crypto is going to become TradFi. I think that's, a directional bet a lot of people want to take. Stocks are the new ICOs, which is frankly pretty true. I hope everybody bought into the circle trade. I think I made a lot of people very happy.
I did not.
But I didn't either, but a lot of my friends did. And I'm very, very envious in like the best way possible. Hopefully they'll take me out to a nice trip. Me as a humble founder, not asking for a hand. I'm just trying to make a joke. But
give me a grant.
Give me a grant. Yeah, angel in my company, please. Anyhow, so you have that kind of layer, and I think it's like going to reach a point of convergence. And then you have like crypto as we know it, or like on-chain shenanigans as we know it. I think it's still going to stay there. I think what we are experiencing is a zeitgeist where there's a lot of nihilism and a significant lack of faith, right? People back in the day, they held Aave because they thought Aave is going to be the future of France. Now people hold coins for 40 seconds. So kind of like the bet that I think a lot of people are making, and not just me, but I've been making that bet for a long time, is there will be some kind of convergence point. I'm not talking about crypto gaming. I'm talking about like, if we want, like, onboarding is a meme, but it's not anymore because the market's getting really small when it comes to crypto natives in terms of liquidity and capital and like the massive cultural nihilism. So what I'm seeing is experienced executives and builders, and then crypto native people like me thinking about this convergence between spot market interactions or actions by regular retail users and providing those experiences in a more gamified way, right? YGG, if I'm not mistaken, has actually started an incubation program for that. So they're making a huge bet on that. So it's not about games where you have, some forked, why I don't want to use the word wide coded because those games usually cost 10 million, but it's not, it's not Plants versus Zombies anymore. It's like, hey, how can we make market interactions for retail users more interesting? Because a good market thesis or a good trade right now is just being long degeneracy. So that's kind of like how I think about this. I don't think there's going to be a convergence between like the institutional or the stablecoin layer and like the trenches for a while, but I'm kind of betting that there will be that kind of convergence over the next 2 or 3 or 4 years. And whatever games or whatever mechanism or platform we have 3 years down the line, we'll have a Stripe integration, which will be massively fantastic for removing the cost of onboarding new users to the space.
Yeah, Lauris, can you kind of quickly talk through your thesis on? I think you've been pretty outspoken about the idea of the future of on-chain consumer being ephemeral. So I'm curious if like do you see there just being kind of this new emergent opportunity to lean into ephemerality, or do you really think that the opportunity for kind of monolithic mega apps is actually just closing or dead?
I don't think it's closing. I think that a bunch of things are changing, and it's kind of like an interplay between two different things, even from like a traditional founder's perspective, right? The IPO window has massively closed. Everybody needs liquidity. LPs need liquidity. VCs need liquidity. Founders want to make money too. I think that's one of the reasons why I'm actually bullish on the whole internet capital markets meta and capital markets meta. Why I'm bullish on what Believe is doing, right? Because that is one of the reasons why I went into crypto in the first place. How can you track an asset or company, like the idea of tracking an asset and company real time without necessarily it not being a public market asset, but it actually be, you get what I'm saying.
Double down on that, because I think that distinction is actually really interesting.
I'll simplify it. I'll try and simplify this. I think we're going to see a lot more Web2 builders, even if I don't like the word Web2, come into crypto simply because it just financially makes sense. You can launch a cool product. You don't necessarily have to raise venture capital. You're not like locked into a 4-year vesting schedule. And you don't have to give away board seats to a bunch of VCs. I love VCs, by the way, but sometimes you don't want to give away that authority or that voice or direction as a founder when building a product that might not necessarily be venture scale. And internet capital markets might actually be able to provide that. But the other thing is, when you talk to builders in the space, and we already know it's an open secret that a lot of the best products in the space, a lot of the best infrastructure, they've been literally built by product studios that have launched multiple tokens over the past 5 or 6 years. We already know who those people are, right? We know who those people are. I think what we're going to see is like people embracing more of that, like the Laudio team or the Blank team, like Ultra and Slade. We've been having a lot of conversations, so they're looking into like that kind of thesis. A bunch of other people or friends that are great builders are looking into like building more ephemeral apps, especially if it's a more trenches-based application, because frankly, people are just going to get bored in 2 weeks. So in a lot of ways, Xerox Racer was like how he approached it, regardless of any misgivings. It was kind of revolutionary because previously you kind of assumed that you have to build this $1 billion protocol. But hey, what if you have SocialFi, you put, chat rooms on a bonding curve, and some people make money, some people make a lot of money, everybody has fun, right? And it was a financially successful business for a lot of people. And really, I think for a lot of builders, it makes more sense in thinking in terms of that kind of vector rather than trying to just try to build something that isn't necessarily, doesn't have a lot of longevity, but trying to put, that round peg into a square hole, or how that, however that expression went.
I did not have fun. I did not have fun.
I had a lot of fun.
I had fun with V1 for a week, and then I had a terrible time with V2.
Well, so I think this is there is I so agree with it, and also I think some take it one more step, which is, and I do see this in a lot of this internet capital market stuff, which is why not just give it a shot, and if it doesn't work, and so there's a sense of maybe there isn't this ongoing reputational risk associated.
I still think there is.
Yes,
I think there is. Look at how Avi's getting burned in the public square, right? Potentially for good reasons, right? With all due respect, right? I think he definitely won the distribution game and massive engagement farm, but you do have to think about things like regulatory compliance, whether it's security fraud, right? Those are real things that actually might just, add a lot of bad dharma into your life. So we're kind of like, if we embrace the idea of internet capital markets, we also have to embrace the idea that we're out of the Wild West now, right? And we actually have to take ourselves more seriously if we launch a token.
Lauris, thanks, man. Very interesting conversation. Best of luck with Multiplier.
Thank you.
Go give
Play
them a
with it.
follow.
It's fun.
Go play
with the product.
It's a lot of fun.
No, not right. Give me 3 weeks.
All right, give them
In 3 weeks.
You'll
In 3
see-
weeks. No, get in there now.
weeks.
These people, these people want in before it's. No, they want.
Dude, I've been playing it for like 4 months, and it's fine.
No, it's like
get out of here.
Yeah.
Go build, because we got guys coming. We got people coming to go use it. So.
All right, talk soon, and thank you for having me.